is the Seahawkers podcast, episode 381. I'm Brandon Schultz of the Military Seahawkers, and joining me, my good buddy and Montana Seahawker, Adam Emmert.
Yeah, here for what is this our third try now to get this going? Like we're on the struggle bus. To be more accurate, I'm on the struggle bus today. So hard that you might as well call me a member of the Seattle Seahawks after their week 2 preseason performance, because they were riding the struggle bus hard.
Okay, so what if you were to compare yourself with the Seahawks, would you say that you feel a little bit more like the offense, like the special teams, or like the defense?
I feel like a K. Johnson muffed punt right now. That's what I feel like. I feel like a muffed punt.
That's almost as bad as you can get.
Yeah.
Because you're scoring points for other teams at this point.
Just nobody around. It's an unforced error. It's all my fault.
I doubt that. I think you're being hard on yourself, man.
Yeah. Hey, you got to take accountability, right? Like, and that's something Pete wants out of the players too. Not happy after this game.
Can you blame him? When that's a performance as bad as the one we watched last Thursday, the fingers start pointing at coaches, because you have to wonder, all these players can't be terrible. Like, they're professionals. So how can they be coached so poorly that they perform that poorly?
Yeah. The special teams part is the most unnerving, because you would say, well, the starters didn't really play on defense. They don't really play on offense. You know, all the ones were missing, blah, 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 blah. But the dudes played on special teams. Those are the dudes that are going to be playing on special teams,
At
right?
least you hope so.
All the young guys.
Right.
Yeah. And that was a disaster. But I mean, I guess Jason Myers isn't a rookie. He missed a kick for like no reason. Dixon had the punt downed by Justin Coleman on the goal line. He's no freaking rookie, Justin Coleman. And yet when he looked out at the goal line, he was so stunned that he was standing on it that I think he pooped himself.
Yeah. I think we needed the Price is Right fail horn after to go along with the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
That's the best fail horn I can do with the impression.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6.5.
All right. I'll take it.
Slightly above average, not terrible, but room for improvement.
I don't want my Seahawks giving me all the reasons to improve my fail horn, the manual fail horn sound throughout the season.
Well, it's going to be a little up and down, so there's going to be some fail horns along the way for sure. But I also think there's going to be some ding, 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 ding winner sounds throughout the season as well. It's going to be interesting. I don't think you can take anything away from a week 2 game when a bunch of the ones didn't play and they were trying things out and trying guys in different spots and all that stuff. Like, there's not much to take away from that in terms of what this team is going to be like, say, week 6 of the regular season.
I got 2 takeaways that I will take away from that game. And that is, the one point of good news is that the Seahawks can't go any lower in the power rankings. They're already at 32, so not going to get any worse. And I took away that feeling of, I think I can expect this feeling in at least 3 to 4 games, at least 3 to 4 this upcoming season.
Yeah, it feels like 3 out of every 4 games are going to be ones you're like, yeah, they played pretty well, win or lose.
Yeah,
they played pretty well. They were right in that, right up to the end. Like, they're looking good. And there's a lot of promise here. And then there's going to be that one where you're like, oh, God, that's not just a dumpster fire. That was like a grease dumpster on fire, and it was an inferno.
And I think a lot of it is going to have to do with some of the things that we saw show up in this game. And that's whether it's penalties, especially penalties on key third downs, whether it's issues with special teams, whether it's things like tackling on defense. Because I think with having a backup quarterback as your quarterback, whether it's Geno Smith or Drew Lock, everything else has to go really well. And so if you're missing on some of those fundamental things like catching footballs or making tackles when, guys are going, when it's a 3rd and 3, or maybe it's a 4th down and your defensive end jumps offside and gives them a free first down. It's all those little things that can extend that you're not able to overcome when you have Drew Lock or Geno Smith as your quarterback versus having Russell Wilson.
Well, here's the thing. I take a little exception when people say, Well, when you have a backup quarterback as your starting quarterback, and I'm not
you
saying
take exception when I say it, is what you're saying.
No, you just happen to be the latest one. Okay. So then I took exception. But basically, if you look at Geno's performance in this last game, or really even in the week 1 game, that doesn't look like backup quarterback level stuff.
No.
Like, that's Matt Barkley. Okay. That's you can go down the list. Like, people call Gardner Minshew a backup. He's not a backup. He's a low tier starter.
Sure.
Both Geno and Drew right now are low tier starters. And Geno looked the part this last game. A lot of people are just creaming Geno about the production of the offense, especially in this last game. And if you go back and really watch the first half, where was that Geno's fault? Like, for reals, like he can't catch the football for him.
He can't catch the football. He can't not make Gabe Jackson punch the defender right in the neck coming off the ball on a quick 4th down pass that gets converted to Cade Johnson.
He can't make Charles Cross remember the snap count. You know what I mean? Like that's not his deal. He played fine. He played fine. He played Alex Smith level fine.
He didn't have any passes that made me wonder where the heck he was going with the football. Were they a little bit off? Maybe were they thrown a little bit too hard in some moments? Okay, I'll retract my backup quarterback thing. Because I saw that Pro Football Focus has Geno the number 1 rated quarterback through the preseason so far.
Oh, wow. That's super interesting. I didn't know that, but I did hear a lot of people bang on Geno, and I just don't think it was fair. I'll be the first to get on him when it's his fault. I mean, obviously, I'm not the biggest. I'm not a Geno truther or anything like that.
Well, to that point, but I saw that Kenneth Arthur, the Seaside Chats Twitter account, posted the Geno Smith drives and how they ended for all the drives that he's been out there this preseason. And
it's not pretty.
It's not pretty. There's a lot of 3 and outs, not a lot of scoring. But to that point, there's guys out there that wouldn't normally be out there. I mean, Cade Johnson and Freddie Swain aren't Geno Smith's number 1 and 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, I think it was the first 3 and out. Freddie Swain dropped a beautiful ball, hit him right in the hands. Got to catch it. Like, I'm pretty sure DK catches that or Tyler catches that.
And I think it was Tariq Young who had a ball thrown down the left side, back shoulder that he shouldn't have dropped. That would have set him up for a nice little, inside the 10-yard line series.
And Geno had a nice throw just before that down the left sideline, a little hole shot in cover 2, hit it just right. Look, I'm not saying Geno's amazing and I'm super stoked to have him as my quarterback this year and all that. I'm just saying I'm not going to bang on him just to bang on him. Like, that's...
You're going to bang on him when he deserves it, and there wasn't really anything from this past game where you say that he deserves it. I mean, he threw the ball into a defender's hands a couple times that, batted passes, but that's going to happen.
Oh, that's not really
that's more of a defensive play than a quarterback issue.
Hey, I don't know who was playing guard on that play. I can't remember, but whoever it is, you have to have your hands on that dude's arms and it up in him so that he can't get his arms up.
Yeah.
When the ball's coming out, they know the rhythm of the play just as much as the receivers do, and the quarterback and the running back. They got to know that. So that's not on Geno. It's not like he threw it into the back of the lineman or something. Guy made a nice play. Sometimes you get got.
That's all I'm pointing out is the things that maybe you would get on Geno about. There's not a whole lot from this particular game to bag on him for.
No, I would be more pissed off about penalties. On top of that, special teams. That was such
special
a bad.
Special teams was the worst.
That might be one of the worst special teams showings I have ever seen in my life. It's got to be top 5.
Yeah, not only was there the Cade Johnson muffed punt that he pushed into the end zone for the Bears to scoop up and score, there were multiple returns that crossed midfield that set up the Bears for easy, couple first downs, and they're getting in the end zone.
Absolutely. Larry Ozo's got some splaining to do this week. He does.
Pete sounded like he had a lot of visits to make, whether it was guys who couldn't tackle, guys who couldn't catch. And I'm sure he wasn't going to mention Larry's name in the press conference, but I know he was thinking it.
He'd have to be. I was, and I'm an idiot. Like, I could see that it was god awful. Pete had to know.
Well, okay, so there was the penalties issue with Charles Cross, and that was unfortunate. I don't think, at least I hope not, I don't think he's going to amass 5 penalties in one game again. Hopefully that's a one-off.
He didn't have a penalty habit in college.
Unless he's going for a Jermaine Ifedi style record. Maybe he has that on his goal sheet.
He's got a lot of work to do.
He's got a long way to go. But
yeah,
the positives, when you go back and watch him perform against Robert Quinn through that first defensive series, I liked what I saw.
Man, he is good at holding and not getting called. I'll tell you that.
We saw that in college, though, too.
He held the shit out of Robert Quinn on that inside move early on, man.
Yeah.
Like that was well done. That's all I can say about that. But yeah, he moves well. He looks good. He looks fine in the run game. He hasn't looked as dominant as, say, Abe Lucas in the run game, who might be my new favorite human that's ever walked the earth. I might be getting me an Abe Lucas jersey.
Yeah, you saw the pancake block that he laid down, and now he's your favorite.
Dude, he is the best breakfast cook of an offensive lineman I've ever seen. He is just throwing pancakes everywhere. Pancake for you, a pancake for you. I love it, man. He is nasty.
I did get the sense from that game that Lucas has moved into the driver's seat for the starter job at right tackle.
Oh, yeah, I think that's without question.
Just in case anybody else wasn't watching, I've got my finger on the pulse there.
You do. You must have gotten that off the Twitters.
No, that was just for me watching the game.
Oh, wow.
I did see the pancake on the Twitter.
Yeah, people like putting pancakes on Twitter.
It's about time. We need more pancakes on Twitter.
Right. We still need to get pancakes as an official stat that's tracked in the NFL. That might need to be our season mission. It's going to be a weird season, so we might as well have fun with it.
There we go. I feel like we would have to break a lot of tape, though, after the game.
No, we let the Twitters people do it.
Oh,
and then you just send that into the league, and you got to get this stat going, guys.
We at least have to track it for our team, though, so that way to motivate them.
Goodle can find somebody to track it.
Goodle. A little throwback reference to the new owner of the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Doesn't even know the NFL commissioner's name.
If you ever wondered, Walmart gives zero catfish about the NFL. We know that for sure now.
But doesn't the name at least come up at some point in the conversations of buying an NFL football team? Like, hey, we've got to run this through Roger. Roger who? Goodell. And then when he comes on the press conference, he goodles them.
Maybe that just shows you, like, when you have that level of FU money, right? When you're one of those, 0.1 percenters, you're just like, yeah, so I want the Denver Broncos now. And then you don't know it's yours until you're ready to go up and like do the press conference. You have no idea who worked on the deal, anything like that. You're just like, yeah, man, my good buddy, Roger Goodell, he made it happen for us.
At least he got the team name right. At least he didn't call them the Colts or the Chargers.
That'd have been fun.
It's one of the horse teams.
Yeah. Hey, they're going to have some great disconnected ownership. It's going to be fantastic for them. It's part of the Let's Ride curse,
It's got to be part of the Let's Ride curse.
Yeah.
It's the only explanation.
Yeah, that game was so bad that we had to quickly make fun of the Broncos. Like that, we needed to go there.
Makes us feel better about us.
Yeah.
For some reason, during the broadcast, we got multiple shots and discussions of Russell Wilson throughout the game. I think the Monday Night Football broadcast team was getting ready, doing their work, the dress rehearsal work for the
Week
first
1?
Monday Night Football game and all the storylines that they're going to tell with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks.
It's tough and it makes me angry every single time. But then again, we just need to expect that week in, week out.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, just how connected the two have been over the years, and people are going to compare. Shoot, we're going to continue to compare because we have the Broncos draft pick. So we want to see what the Broncos do every week so we can track and see what the Seahawks draft pick's going to be based on their record.
Yeah, it's going to be worse than the play that shall not be talked about.
Will it? It'll be worse in terms of volume.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Not in terms of the hurt, I don't think.
Although, I mean, I can see how that could hurt for people.
Oh, it does. It does. It still hurts for me.
Catfish!
I have feelings.
Yeah.
Russell hurt my feelings.
I know. And we can continue to be mad at him for it.
Right. And that's why I'm not going to bang on Geno every 5 seconds, because that's the guy who's not hurting my feelings right now. My current girlfriend is fine. She's nice.
She's nice.
Yeah.
We may not get to see a lot of Geno, though, coming up in this game against the Cowboys. The final preseason game, week 3.
Yeah.
From what Pete's saying, we're going to see a lot of Drew Lock here against the Cowboys.
I think that's good. He said they adjusted the plan, like there was this huge grandmaster. His pretend of there's this giant grandmaster plan of how they're doing this quarterback thing. Like, don't you just keep putting him out there and see who does better and then adjust the plan from there? Like he acts like he was a Bond villain over there being like, well, I know exactly how I'm going to select my quarterback. It's like, well, okay, man. Like, you don't know until the guys start playing.
Is that really how they're doing it? As far as the plan goes, just from the sounds of things, it doesn't sound like there's any kind of equality of snaps or plan of how things, and things are always going to get screwed up, whether it's injuries, whether it's COVID,
stupid COVID
screwing up everything. Drew Lock
screwing up everything.
He's got to be so mad at COVID.
Oh God. Poor guy, man. This is just a tough go. He's got bad luck, man.
I am looking forward to seeing what Drew can do, though.
Absolutely.
In this third game, I'm rooting for him.
100%. 100%. I'd love for him to play so well that it makes it interesting going into week 1.
Yeah. Give us something to talk about leading up to that first game against the Broncos.
Hell yeah.
But I don't think I'd rather be talking about that than how bad 3 phases of the game played against a relatively poor team in the Bears.
Sure. And again, they're working on all sorts of stuff. Like I'm not alarmed in any way. It's just like, that was miserable, but half of preseason games are miserable. I mean, shoot, Orlovsky was saying on the broadcast, like, oh, we went 4-0 as the Lions looked good doing it. And then followed that up with 16 straight L's.
Still haven't gotten over how during the broadcast, Orlovsky was really trying to make Seahawks fans feel better for what we were watching. A pity party from a broadcaster during a game is not something that I'm relatively familiar with. I feel like that hasn't happened a whole lot.
Well, it wasn't just him. I mean, Riddick has been kind of touting the Seahawks here, even leading up to that game, being like, you know what? They're not going to be as bad as you think. They're not 32 in the league power rankings guy. Like, they're just not. So, everybody chill out.
So now's the week to go and bet the over for the wins on the season.
Why not? Just wait till Rashad Penny has a big preseason game in week 3, and all of a sudden everybody's tune is completely changed.
Are we going to get to see some Penny out there?
I would think so.
See, I wasn't sure what Pete was meaning in terms of getting things going with the ones.
I would think he meant that he wanted to get things going with the ones. Rashad Penny being one of the ones. Like,
I know, but in practice or versus in the actual game, like, are we going to see? I don't know how preseason is supposed to operate now that we only have 3 games. I don't know what to expect anymore.
Well, judging by Pete's press conference, I think they view week 3 as the dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
As opposed to back in the day where I guess it was still week 3, but then you had the week 4 game.
Which was essentially all of the dudes who weren't going to make the team putting on a scrimmage.
Right.
I'd rather see that.
I think you will.
I want to see them run some offensive plays that look like they come out of the playbook that they're going to run this year. Rather, see, this is the thing that bothers me about
the
preseason.
Second down, give up draw.
Yeah. They might run some of that during the regular season too, but I don't want to go through the whole, they say that they keep things vanilla in the preseason so they don't give anything away. What are you going to give away in week 1 why don't you just practice how you're going to play? Why is it some kind of secretive thing that what you're going to show something that is going to be so mind blowing that all of a sudden they're going to be prepared for it. And now that was your your big thing that you were going to get by him in week 1 or 2.
Yeah. It'd be like holding back your playbook and up until like week 6, just so, well, if we could just be 3-3, playing vanilla, then we can
go to
on
the good playbook.
Yeah, exactly. We had the big running joke about the good playbook and the bad playbook with Bevel. I mean,
yeah.
maybe
Well, they gave him the bad playbook to start the game, and they always made him find it for the second half. And then magically every week they broke out the good playbook in the second half.
Yeah, maybe that's part of Pete's plan. Maybe he holds the good playbook back from Waldron here.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's hard to say. One thing that will be disappointing in week 3 for me is that we're not going to see either of the second rounders.
Yeah. I liked watching Mafe.
Yeah. I didn't realize he had gotten hurt until like yesterday or something like that. It's like, wait, what? When? How?
Well, he got hurt early in that game, but then he came back in. So he thought, oh, well, he's okay. But
well, maybe that if it was regular season, he'd be playing.
Yeah, I don't know when we're going to see Ken Walker back out there based on the surgery, which I still haven't got a good sense of what exactly was the problem and what was the resolution.
The way Pete talked about the injuries, like, yeah, he's still pretty tender. With the areas that they were operating on, I think he had his ball sewn on. Yeah. And I think the junk is a little sore. Just the way that he was saying it. That was what I took from it.
That's a better explanation than I feel like I've gotten, because they said initially it was a hernia, but then they were asking him whether or not it was a sports hernia, which is more in the abdominal section.
Right.
But he said it wasn't that.
No, it was in the balls.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So
you heard it here first.
Hopefully Ken Walker has got the bag of peas right where they need to be.
No, you need 3 bags of peas so you can rotate them, right? Like when the one thaws out, pop it back in the freezer, pull the other one out.
Got to have your pea bag rotation.
And that way, if you have really hot balls and you melt the peas really fast, you've always got the extra one in rotation. That's why you need the third.
That's why you need the third.
Just in case you have hot balls.
Well, so who else could be on the chopping block after this week?
Well, I think that my first go-to guy, if you were going to have me predict, and I don't like predicting guys losing their jobs, and I don't have an axe to grind against anybody, any of that. Like, I always feel like you kind of have to throw that out there a little bit because people think it's a lot of personal attacks a lot of times. It's just not that. Marquise Blair will not be on this team.
Why are you personally attacking one of my formerly favorite draft picks that I couldn't have been more excited about?
Yeah, because the dude can't tackle and he can't cover and he doesn't do anything and he gets personal fouls.
Do you think that's one of the guys when Pete had in mind the talk about guys who could tackle?
Yeah.
Blair has been a tackle whiffing machine in this preseason.
Yeah, and the one thing he did do was spear a dude with his helmet in the helmet.
Which you can't do. And I feel like he's done that every single preseason.
He did it in college. He got dinged for that in college a bunch of times.
And we thought, well, Pete Carroll, he can get him under control and get him focused on tackling in the NFL, but he's still leading with his shoulder on everything, not wrapping guys up. And every 1 to 4 times you hear him make a hit that you audibly hear on the broadcast. But I don't think that that's good enough to make the team.
No, it's not. And I would expect him to be one of the quote unquote surprise cuts. How about you? Who you got?
He was on my list. Blair was on my list. After listening to Pete Carroll and the way he talked about Eskridge, I'm a little bit worried about Eskridge maybe being a surprise one, because he's like, finally we got Eskridge back on the field in practice. You could hear it in his voice that he was frustrated.
He's getting the pro size speak. You know what I mean? The same way that Pete talked about pro size back in the day.
But CJ stuck around for his entire contract.
That's why I brought it up, because I was like, well, then you also heard Pete be like, yeah, but then he was super explosive like he always is.
So, yeah, I don't necessarily see him being cut this early, but he's one to watch. I mean, I guess fortunately for him, there's not a receiver behind him that I would point to and say, well, that guy's going to take his job.
I think a lot of people would point at Marquise Goodwin.
Really? Because have we seen anything a good one?
Not really. And I mean, other than his full career of tape, which is meh.
We got to see Arcega-Whiteside on full display with his drops in the preseason. Eagles fans will tell you that get used to that if he makes the team.
If he makes the team.
I don't know. Every single guy dropped it. How do you make the call if you're Pete? Cade Johnson had that nice 4th down catch that ended up getting called back, but then he also had the muff punt. So,
well, how many receivers do you keep?
Usually 5.
So if you play the game, right? I mean, obviously DK Tyler.
I would hope that those guys are safe.
And I would say probably Swain.
Right. And then I guess D because it's just his second year.
And then I think because they can't count on Eskridge and his health, they would be inclined to keep Goodwin.
Goodwin, Penny Hart, Cade Johnson. Those are the
Penny
3
Hart.
that I would say are a toss up there.
I think after the muff punt, I don't think it's happening for Cade.
I don't know. Just don't put him back on punt coverage.
Well, yeah, I guess.
LJ Collier is another guy to watch.
Yep.
Former 1st-round pick. At a deep group of interior defensive linemen.
Just can't put it together.
He's a guy. Has he been out there?
No, he hurt his elbow or something.
Between him and D and Neal. Jones is coming hard for that spot.
He is. I don't think they're getting rid of Ryan Neal.
I wouldn't think so. I would think they would find a way to keep him.
Yeah.
Anything else you're watching for in the game coming up against the Cowboys?
If we can find a backup linebacker that can play, because boy, it looks awful thin.
Is KJ actually retired, or can he I know he signed the 1-day contract to be with the Seahawks, but can we just can you amend that to say that it's not a 1-day and it's more like a 1-season contract?
I mean, Favre retired 16 times and came back. I mean, why can't KJ do it once?
Come and earn that final year, KJ. Otherwise, you know what? KJ, if you're listening to this, I consider you retiring as a member of the Raiders until you come back for at least 4 Seahawks games.
Yeah, there you go. I think he'd like to.
I think they would probably wait until it would have to be an injury situation, I would think, to where he was guaranteed to start once he came in rather than just sitting on the bench behind either Jordan or Cody. Because I feel like they have those guys planned to start at the at the 2 inside linebacker spots.
For sure. What else are you looking for? One other for me is the interior defensive line, whether or not they can hold their own in the run game, because they got pushed around a little bit. For this 3rd game, I'm really just watching Drew Lock. I just want to see what he can do in his and how much time he's going to be given, because I could see him getting the start, playing through the first half, and then since he hasn't gotten a ton of playing time throughout the preseason, that they'd go ahead and see what he has coming out of halftime too. Yeah, definitely. Because I do think they're going with Geno week 1, unless Drew does something ridiculous in week 3. And if that's the case, they're not going to want to play Geno much. And they really want to see Drew. So, and I think we've all seen enough Jacob Eason to last us 6 lifetimes.
He was fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
he looked like, you talk about backup quarterbacks, that dude looked like a backup quarterback.
Oh, sure. But that's also where my expectation level of him was. And I think that if you're going to keep 3 quarterbacks, and it might not be a bad idea to have 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That he looks like a guy who could stick around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he could stick around for sure. I just hope I'd never see him in a regular season game unless it's extreme mop-up duty where we're up 50 points.
He can hand the ball off to the running backs.
Surely can. Yeah, that's within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. He can hit that.
Were most of his passes completed that were short passes, right? Trying to think of anything downfield that were
negative.
Although one of the things that I feel like is something we haven't seen a ton of are deep shots.
Yeah, true.
We've seen some completions in that 20 to 25 range, probably at the most.
For sure.
Have we seen anybody really air it out?
Have we seen DK and Tyler?
I mean, we haven't even seen it with Marquise Goodwin, so.
No. I'd like to see a little more out of Noah Fant.
I'd like to see a little bit more out of all the tight ends.
Oh, absolutely.
The Colby Parkinson show is just not doing it for me in the preseason.
It's all right, because you're going to get a lot of Uncle Will this year, and it's going to feel good.
Yeah. He's got something to prove. Everybody talking trash about him, getting the big contract. It's going to be a huge Uncle Will year.
That's right. Bet the over on the Uncle Will things.
Yeah, whatever those are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I would do that.
It's because you're a giant wuss. You don't actually believe in your fellow Montanan.
I just don't know what the over on everything is.
Well, put your fake money, your fake bet money on Uncle Will for the over.
On the over
yards
on everything.
And reception. Yeah.
I guess I want to see more from the running game too.
Like I said, I'm hoping to see a bit of Penny for sure. He's kind of a rhythm runner. You're going to need to get him out there and get the juices flowing a little bit, I would think.
The worst thing that could happen is that Penny goes out there and he tweaks something in the preseason. Look, everybody was wringing their hands even with Damian Lewis getting injured in this game against the Bears. They're like, why is Damian Lewis even out there on the line?
Because he needed to play. You needed the work. And fortunately, it turned out for the better. Not a really bad. I was told it was a basketball ankle sprain by Pete. I was like, well, that's impossible because he's playing football.
Are high ankle sprains traditionally associated with basketball?
No. He doesn't have a
high ankle sprain is the football one. So the lower ankle sprain is with basketball.
Right.
Which the high ankle sprain doesn't even impact the ankle.
No.
But it's called a high ankle sprain.
Right.
Because your high ankle is your knee. All the
sense. I think medical people make things confusing to just keep their jobs.
Yeah. And so Pete can go, I don't know what I'm talking about with any of this.
Exactly. No, you got to talk to the medical guys because, the guy.
I don't know anything.
The guy has a thumb contusion and, he's got a bruise on the inside of his cheek or something.
And you got to call a bruise a contusion.
Contusion. Right. Yeah. Because we can't just call it a bruise. Heaven forbid.
Sounds way worse as a contusion.
Yeah. Hey, bud, you got a sick kidney. You got to go on dialysis. No, you got, renal failure or whatever the hell they call it. I don't know.
Look at you. Renal failure.
I don't even think that's kidney failure. So
let's just throw out medical terms we don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody, write in your favorite medical term that you don't know what it means.
I like it. Yeah.
We're going to need some content for this week off between the start of the regular season and the end of the preseason.
Oh, heck, we're going to have content, man. There's going to be all sorts of camp reports coming out and blah, 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 blah.
My favorite thing from this past week, though, was Pete saying that Charles Cross didn't know who Robert Quinn was when they lined up against each other. Those kind of stories are fun.
That might have been one of my more concerning things. It's like, wait, do we need to put in a study clause in Charles Cross's contract? A la Kyler Murray? How do you not know who freaking Robert Quinn is? You didn't look at the tape at all? You're just like, oh yeah, there's going to be a guy rushing. I'll block him. I mean, wait, you're not the Brett Favre of nickel coverage here, Charles. Like you might study up on guys. And he's never watched a game where Robert Quinn has played for reals. And as a left tackle, he wasn't watching the pass rushers, even if he was. What's going on here?
Well, I feel like from what I hear, based on how NFL players operate, they mostly just operate on dudes' numbers. And so to Charles Cross, it would have just been 94 that he had to concern himself with at the start of the game. And who knows, maybe he didn't even expect a starter to be playing and he just was blocking the dude that was in front of him.
Well, if he didn't have the name of the opposing player on the mind, you think he'd get the snap count right?
You only have enough room in your brain for certain things.
I only have so much RAM. You don't.
If you're not going to know the name of the defender lining up from across you, focus on the snap count.
It's important.
Well, Urban Meyer allegedly didn't even know who Aaron Donald was. So
Urban Meyer doesn't know that he shouldn't get lap dances in public after ditching his team.
Yeah, he didn't know a lot of things. He didn't know that you're not supposed to kick your kicker in the leg in warm-ups.
Did you call him a bum too or something like that?
I don't know. What a weird coach.
He's definitely a walking catfish. crackhead. There's no doubt about that. I wonder if his brother Rural is any better.
Rural?
Yeah.
Oh boy. We got to get to the second half of the show.
Okay, but he's got to have a brother named at least like, I don't know, Outskirts, something like that.
What are we doing here?
Making fun of Urban Meyer. It's a good time. Get on board. We can get back to the second half of the show now, though.
Okay.
I think Urban has a little sister named Off-Grid Myers.
You're still going to keep going with this, huh?
You got to drill them into the ground.
Just while we were over the break, you jotted down a list of all the other things that you needed to, all the family members of Urban.
I mean, have you ever met his dad, Metropolis Myers?
No.
Oh, he's a really nice guy. I don't know how his catfish Urban son came out the way that he did.
Have you ever had the Pellegrino blood orange and black raspberry?
Ooh, no, I've only had the blood orange in the lemonada.
Oh, I haven't had that one.
Yeah. That
sounds good.
Yeah, or just lemonada or the blood orange. But if you want a mixture, I once dated a gal, really cool gal. She made up a drink. At least we think she made it up. But if you mix red wine with the lemonada, then you've got a Liz Lemon.
Okay.
It's refreshing on a hot summer day.
I wasn't sure if that was a punchline or just the reference to 30 Rock or where we're going with that.
Yeah, didn't she drink a lot of wine in the show?
Could be. It's been a while since I watched that show.
Yeah, I never watched the show.
I'm on my Supernatural binge still.
Oh, okay.
Season 13, about halfway through.
Well, I guess when you have a show about things that can't possibly happen, you can do about anything, so you can last 13 seasons.
And something crazy will happen and you don't even bat an eye like, oh, well, that would never happen.
Yeah, that stuff drives me crazy.
You know what I hate? The fact that Baker Mayfield isn't our quarterback for this upcoming season. How many of you are saying now, man, oh man, I wish the Seahawks would have pulled the trigger on Baker Mayfield? How many of you? Raise your hands. Why aren't you raising your hand, Adam?
I was just waiting to hear the crickets.
You ought to be raising your hand.
Negative. Nope. Absolutely not. I'm good on that one. Nope. Don't need it.
He was named the starter for the Panthers. He beat out Sam Darnold.
Yippee-ki-yay. Oh boy.
We don't have to worry about Sam Darnold coming to the Seahawks now, do they? Is that the new drum beat that we're going to hear? Is that the Seahawks should go after Sam Darnold?
Nah, because they're going to keep Sam.
And Jimmy still hasn't gone anywhere yet.
Because he's not going to.
You think he's staying with the Niners?
I don't think they really believe in Trey.
But 49ers fans are all in a tizzy over Trey.
Yeah, 49ers fans think a lot of things. Like, they've been good in the last, 15 years consistently.
They seriously think that they're going to the Super Bowl this year.
People in the Bay Area have a lot of delusions of grandeur. There's no doubt about that.
So 49ers fans better look out if Jimmy doesn't go anywhere.
They should be looking out no matter what. The reports on Trey Lance are like, oh, he looked fabulous. Oh, he looked like a dumpster fire. Oh, he looked fabulous. Oh, 3 dumpster fires. He's not good. And I don't think he's going to be consistently good.
Well, he could be. It's going to take some time.
Shanahan doesn't have that.
Yeah, here's an article right here. Jimmy G is still a Seahawks quarterback option, and it's about to get interesting. This is from Seattle Sports, 710. Yeah,
I read that one.
Yeah, from Lefko.
Yeah. Is that the same Bleacher Report Lefko guy? Different Lefko guy.
I think, he's the guy who's the producer of the Wyman and Bob show.
Oh, okay. Well, he should probably stop writing articles.
Why? Because he wants Jimmy? He's beating the drum for Jimmy?
Well, you could beat the drum for Jimmy, but the idea that he thinks it's a viable option that the Seahawks are going to pursue, he's smoking something.
But what are the Niners going to do? Are they going to pay him his $24 million? Are they going to try and re-sign him at a lower amount? Or is Jimmy going to make him cut him?
I think that they'll probably end up redoing his deal.
Why would you do that if you're Jimmy, though? If you...
Why would you do that if you're Jimmy? This is the easiest question in the world to
because
answer.
you get paid a bunch of money, but...
to sit, hold a clipboard. Like Captain Brittle, like all he has to do is sit there. And every game that Trey Lance stinks, his value goes up.
Yeah, that's what you're...
Can you imagine if Trey Lance is up and down, or... I mean, you don't even have to imagine it because it's reality, but he's up and down, gets hurt because he's running around and he tries to play his dump truck style of running where he tries to dump truck people and he gets hurt. And then Jimmy comes in and rattles off like 4 wins and they miss the playoffs by a game. Like Jimmy's going to be the hottest commodity going.
I feel like the best that 49ers fans can hope for is Tua level play out of Trey this year. And if you think back
with the
to
occasional deep shot. Yeah.
But if you think about the way Tua went, it was the up and down. And there were times where they pulled Tua in the fourth quarter to put in his backup and go out there and win games.
Yeah. Because they had the beard.
I kind of want the beard.
I told you guys, like, I don't know, 20 episodes back, is like, I would roll with the beard for a year or Minshew for the year. It'd just be fun.
I saw him on the set. Sherman tweeted out a picture of their Thursday Night Football crew. And man, the beard has got like all the hair going. He's got the beard is nice and trim though, but it's like he went the opposite way with the hair up on top.
Oh yeah.
Like he's kind of got a little bit of a fro up top.
Gotcha. So he's going for the Chia Pet look.
It's kind of a Chia Pet look.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, Fitzmagic can do whatever the hell he wants.
Oh no,
it's good by me.
It's probably going to be awesome.
Oh, probably.
But that's going to be a heck of a broadcast team. I mean, just put Sherman and the beard on together, and then they have who's the other NFLer on that crew?
Why would you even do that? Just make it a Manning cast situation. Just go Sherman and the beard.
Yeah. Oh,
there's the name of the show. Sherman the beard. God, where's my royalty check?
Did you hear Gronkowski with his big announcement on his? Did he do a podcast or he was doing some kind of broadcast? I think with Dana White from UFC. And Dana White was going off about how he had orchestrated, and it was to the point that Tom Brady was looking for homes in Las Vegas. That Gronk and Brady were going to come to Vegas, but Gruden wasn't on board at the end when it was all said and done.
Oh, wow. That's quite the rumor. Hey, who else wants to fire shots at Gruden?
Well, here's the thing,
man.
I don't know how much of a rumor you can say it is when it's the guy who says he orchestrated it along with one of the guys who was part of the package that he was talking to.
Dana White's so foolish. Catfish! And he has to be. He runs a fight league. Like they all talk all sorts of nonsense. And I'm not even mad at him for it. That's just part of the game. It's just, yeah.
Well, yeah, when you sell fights, you need to draw attention.
Right.
That's how you sell fights.
Exactly. I don't know. Does he have stake in the Raiders or something?
I don't know. I that was the part of it that I didn't get from the one little clip that I heard. Is that why? Why was Dana White trying to organize this in the first place?
Why would Tom Brady listen to Dana White?
I don't know. I guess they're buddies or something.
Okay, maybe that's true.
Who knows?
Hard telling, not knowing. I could see you can sell me on the Dana White Gronk friendship. That makes a lot more sense to me.
That makes all the sense.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you're Dana White, having Gronk, I mean, that's like your key demographic as,
right.
Everybody's well, shoot, I must be in that demographic because I want to see everything that Gronk does. And so if Gronk's doing something involved with the UFC, I might buy a fight.
There you go.
Or find a stream of the fight.
Gronk, yeah, exactly. Gronk is a brother from another mother for Dana White. There's no doubt.
You got to get Dana White. You got to get Dana White involved with Marshawn and Gronk.
Okay,
and then I might be in on all of it.
This is a serious question. Beast mode versus the Gronk.
Oh,
UFC rules
in the octagon.
in the octagon. Who you got? And do you want to do them today or peak beast mode, peak Gronk?
Oh, I would go peak beast mode, peak Gronk. You got to have them at their peak.
Okay.
And look, if you're just going to say this as a boxing match, then I would go Gronk just based on reach alone.
Right, exactly.
But because this is UFC and in the octagon, I kind of give the edge to Marshawn because it's going to the ground.
Absolutely.
and once it goes to the ground, I think Marshawn would have the edge.
I think he'd probably strangle him with his dreads, man.
Yeah.
Submission by dreads. First ever.
How's this not being turned into an animated UFC TV show?
Right.
We want the rights to this, Dana.
Hey, I don't need the rights. Just 10%.
This is our storyline. This has got to be episode 1 of the pilot, or the pilot leads into episode 1. I don't know how it works in TV.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's why I only want 10%. I don't want to have to figure out that stuff.
It has been kind of weird with Tom Brady, though, not being at practice.
Mm-hmm. Why?
I don't know. Most guys in training camp are at practice and they don't just leave for personal reasons, quote unquote.
Yeah. Do most guys have 46 Super Bowl rings and are 73 years old?
So you're saying just because he's the only guy that's ever done this, that he can do whatever the heck he wants?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, who's telling Tom Brady no in the Bucs right now? Like, do you think Todd Bowles is like, oh, dude, nah, I'm going to need you here, Tom?
If he had that kind of sway, then Tom would be there.
Exactly.
But he doesn't.
No, that conversation, Todd was like, well, Tom, I really appreciate you being here. The guys could use your leadership. And, I'm a defensive guy, so I could really use you being out here as the offensive coordinator and this, that, and other thing. And Tom being like, wait, what? Where's Bruce? Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
Well, I don't know. I'll be back. I'll talk to you later.
The next step, the next step would be Tom Brady taking off like some random week 5 matchup with a division like the Panthers. Like it's a divisional game, but it's one of the lesser teams within the division that he doesn't really care about.
Yeah, I could see.
Could he pull that off?
If Tom wants to take the week off against Baker, I think he could totally do that and they'd still beat him because Baker's their quarterback. I think Gain Blabbert could beat Baker.
Yeah,
with the Bucs team. Yeah,
is Blabbert still there?
Yeah, he threw like 2 touchdowns in the last preseason game because Tom was too busy to show up. Yeah, apparently the big rumor is that he's filming the Masked Singer.
I feel like that would be accurate because I bet Tom got to the point to where so many people were saying just how odd it was that he's gone. And so they're making up like all the things of, maybe this is the time, like his HGH appointment in Europe got delayed. And so that's why he's flying overseas. At least that's the rumor I made up in my head. I don't know if anybody else heard that rumor.
Hey, maybe he's doing the Kobe Bryant knee thing over there in Germany.
And maybe he heard enough of that to where he's like, okay, we got to get it out there that it was Masked Singer. Even though it's dumb, it makes sense because he signed with Fox.
Sure.
And so it was a contractual obligation that he had to be a part of, and he couldn't let it slip somehow. But even though he was the one that leaked it.
Or he's 43 years old and was just like, dudes, I don't need to be here. See you week 1. Get it figured out.
Why not even show up then for the start of it?
Well, you got to gain a little bit of rhythm and all that and everything. And he's like, yeah, we're good. Catch you guys week 1. Get your poop in a group. See you, Todd.
I'll tell you when I'm coming to practice, Todd.
Right, exactly. I admire it.
Well, I admire our members of the flock.
You ought to. They're amazing people.
They are amazing people. You can become a member of the flock by going to getintheflock.com. Start off by thanking our executive producers, DCH, Dustin Mock, Brian Shaw, and Rebecca Christensen. If we had a practice that she had to be at, we couldn't be.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
she doesn't have to be at any of them. Yeah, she's got all that swag.
But we do have some new members of the flock.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. See, this is why I'm jacked up for this season.
Starting off with Jeff Whitney in at $36 for the year. Welcome to the flock to Jeff.
Dude, amazing, man.
We also got John Harvey in at £9.50. See, that's the 12-12 level for our flockers over in the UK.
Yeah. See, he took my advice. You get in when inflation's high. It's a better value.
You gotta do it. Kevin Sellers also getting in from overseas, £30 for the year. Welcome to the flock to Kevin.
Oh yeah, man.
And a welcome to the flock to Steven Ackerson in at $5 a month.
That's awesome, dude. Look, it kind of shows you that this value for value thing is working out. Like, we're starting to pump out some more stuff. People are seeing the value. They're feeling it. They're tired of being freeloaders because they have a conscience and they're good people. Unlike the people who are still freeloading because, they're apparently just don't care. Like they don't have, the constitution to be the type of person to get in the flock.
The other thing when you're looking at the value for value discussion here,
right?
All these people all in at different levels. It's what's good for them.
It's a lot like Tom Brady showed up to practice. You don't have to do it. Like, Tom makes a decision. You make the decision if this has enough value to you to throw us a couple bones. And I mean, I'm not going to question your decision-making process if you're still a freeloader, but hey, you might look into it because, there's some value here. Is all I'm getting at.
And you can support in other ways by leaving a review for the show, telling your friends about the show. Right. Going in, even if you don't listen on YouTube, just going there and hitting subscribe and the notification bell, because that'll get our subscriptions up on YouTube.
Heck yeah. A big difference there. I think that's a big opportunity for growth for us. So you want to get in and do that. It will alleviate your freeloading guilt that I just gave you, and you'll feel better. Your hawker will be cleansed.
Yeah.
And away we go for a week 1 win over Dirty Russell Wilson and the stupid donkeys.
Martin Newberry helping support that as well. He's in at $36 for the year. Thanks to Martin.
Yeah. I wonder if I'm related to Martin because we have a whole tree of the family of Newberries.
You got a bunch of Newberry blood in you, huh?
We did. Yeah, I do. Not Old Berry. Newberry.
Newberry.
Yeah.
The old berries.
Yeah.
They're long gone.
See, it's a good thing for Ken Walker. He's got new berries rather than old berries with that surgery.
Allegedly. Why are you giving away Walker's medical info
Who's
here?
a young guy? He's got to have new berries.
Every once in a while, you just got to go through the new berry surgery.
Yeah.
Saban Burned gave us a raise, going from $60 to $100 for the year. Saban, thank you.
Holy smokes, dude! Saban coming in hot. He must really be feeling the value. That's what I get out of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Michael Paul also feeling the value, because he did say he was going to give you a bonus if you told the story about your hand.
Yeah.
And right. He said in his note of a donation for $24.24 says, so we don't have to call Adam Stumpy.
Right. Yeah. No, it's better. I enjoy having all the digits.
That's because we would call you Stumpy.
Oh, I'd be disappointed if you didn't. Like, look, if let's say I'd gone the other way and I would have lost the majority of that hand there, like I probably should have. Mm-hmm. The only way that you can enjoy the experience in any way is to enjoy the humor of now being a Stumpy guy. Like you gotta embrace it. Yeah. All the no finger jokes, all that stuff, whatever it is. Like you just pound it.
You got to take it.
Yeah.
He did say, even though you failed at the maths, go Hawks.
Yeah. I appreciate it, Michael. He should know better than to try to get me to do the maths. Because I took one course in math in my college career, and I'm pretty sure it was called Math for People Who Never Want to Take Math Again. And it was taught by a guy named Chuck. And he walked in the first day in shorts, flip-flops, and had a ponytail. And he said the only reason that he got into math was because he lost all of his life savings in Vegas and he wanted to figure out how he did it. And so the whole course was building up to Vegas Day at the end of the course, where he taught us there was only one even odds bet in Vegas, and it's this permutation on the craps table.
Mm.
So thank to Flip-Flop Chuck. I got a C.
So how do you run the craps table then?
No idea. That's why I got to see.
I know. They can't even give you 50-50 in roulette. Like they throw in the two green colors.
Right.
Like jerks.
Dicks.
Thanks, Vegas.
They clearly don't understand how roulette works. Or maybe they do better than me. I don't know.
I mean, they probably started off roulette with just red and black, and then they're like, how can we screw people over to the point to where we always win?
Right. And so they added the 2 green ones, and then another guy was like, wait, what are we doing? Video Keno.
I bet that they started with the 1 green one, and then the evolution was somebody came up with the idea for 2 green ones.
Do you think there'll be a day when there'll be 3 green ones in the roulette game?
No. Listen, I've got a great idea.
Yeah.
On the roulette wheel.
Okay.
4 green roulette numbers.
Wow. That's amazing. You know what'd be better than that, though? 5. Yeah.
6-minute abs.
Right. Yeah. With the roller thing on the floor. Who else shamefully bought that? I want to know. There has to be merit to this. I felt like Tin Cup, right? Like when he's making fun of Rene Russo for buying all the golf gadgets, right? And then he gets to Shanks and he's in his RV.
He's trying them all
ambushes him. And he's like, I don't know, there's got to be something to this hat thing. Like that's how I felt when I bought the roller 5-minute ab thing.
Man, I need to watch some Tin Cup again.
It's a perfect movie.
So thanks to Michael for coming in via Venmo at Hawkra if you want to donate via Venmo. You can also donate via, I don't even know the name of the app, but there's an app where you can donate Satoshis, which is a fraction of a Bitcoin. And we have on July 30th, someone who gave us a boost via that app of 13,093 Satoshis.
Freaking rich, dude.
Yeah.
I got all the Satoshis.
Almost.
How many till you collect them all?
Well, let's see.
Okay.
Let's challenge our listeners to see how many Satoshis we can accumulate to see how close we can get to all of them.
What color is a Satoshi?
Purple.
That feels right.
Dave Bloomquist, he came in via audio. Speaking of some of our members of the flock, we haven't heard from Bloomy in a while.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that he had sent us an audio message. This is great. I haven't heard Bloomy's voice in way too long.
Hello, Brandon and Adam. It's Hong Kong Hawk here. And as I recover from COVID, thought I'd give you a little news. As it turns out, we will not be going to France. My wife got an 11th hour transfer, and we will be going to London. And I will henceforth be known as Hawk Van Dyke. I look forward to seeing all of the UK flockers and hanging out. I'm one of you now. Cheerio.
Oh, man.
That was amazing on a few different levels. Number one, he sounded like he was one of the British colonials in Hong Kong, like, you know, from back in the day.
Oh, sure.
So that was kind of fun. And then secondly, all you little flockers over there in the UK, you just got a big get.
I could see John Davison being so pissed now.
I mean, either that. I mean, well, yeah, he is kind of on his corner here. Yeah, if John, you know, gets close enough to Bloomy somewhere there in the UK, if John doesn't shiv him, like he's doing it wrong.
Well, Bloomy did say that he was going to London, and I know that John is farther up north. So I think there's a sufficient.
Everything in the UK is like 17 minutes away.
So if John really wanted to shiv him, he could, but they're enough distance away that John would have time to think about it on his way to shiving.
Right, which I think would only embolden you more, right? Wouldn't you get like a little more mad?
It's possible.
Flocker on flocker violence.
We don't want that.
No, probably not. And plus, I don't think those two guys, man, you put them in a room together, there's no way that they are not the best of friends. Like in 3 minutes.
Yeah, we had them in a room together, didn't we?
I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, exactly.
Put John in a room with anybody.
Well, there's that. Yeah. I mean, Dave, you know, maybe 60% of the people, but
right.
Yeah.
But John, 100%.
100%. Yeah. And maybe that's why he's not jealous and he won't shiv him.
We love you, Bloomy.
We do.
Hawk Van Dyke. There we go. No longer Hong Kong Hawk.
Okay. So is Heather now Mary Hawkins?
Better be.
Yeah.
You know, we got to talking about the Pick'em League on the last show. I don't think I told people where to actually go for the Pick'em League.
Figure it out.
Go to Seahawkerspodcast.com and click on the Pick'em League link at the top of the page. That's going to take you to the CBS site where we've hosted the Pick'em League, and you can sign up there. We're going to be doing weekly prizes. And yes, I am getting out the prizes from last season. So be watching your mail here in the coming weeks for those of you who won last year.
Right. It does come. We always follow through.
It's a legit deal. We actually do send
basically,
prizes.
Brandon sends out prizes on the same sort of time frame that Tom Brady uses when it comes to practicing.
Exactly.
Like you're not going to tell him when to send it out.
Well, you could. If you
I mean, you could try.
If you harass me enough.
If you want to feel like Todd Bowles.
It's fine. Well, the thing is I won't ignore Todd. I won't ignore our listeners like the way Tom Brady ignores Todd.
That's a true fact. But yeah, get in the Pick'em League. Because my pick, and you got to come up with a good, for those who haven't participated in the Pick'em before, don't just type in your name. Don't do something lame like that. You got to come up with a good team name. Like, my team name is Disley Adams.
Yo, you're keeping that one?
Yeah, that one's solid. And I didn't really use it last year, so I think I get to roll it over.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. And if you are looking for where to go, I think people get confused because they want to make their picks through their phone. And I haven't found a way on the phone to change your Pick'em League team name. So you got to go find, look, if you don't have a desktop computer anymore, I understand, but you got to go to the library. You got to find somebody who owns a desktop style computer. And then you go to the CBS Sports website, you click on options, and that's where you can change where it says your name. That's where your team name goes.
Right. Yeah. Put in the work, people. You got to do it. Like, call your parents, tell them to log in under your name, and tell them to change it to whatever it is that you want.
Right.
It's going to be an annoying conversation, but your mom's going to be really happy to hear from you. It's been a minute. So just do that.
Hi, Mom. Yeah. I need to change my Pick'em League name.
Well, how's college, Ben? There's classes. I'm here. Thanks for the money. If you could just change the Pick'em name, that'd be great. No. Click on Internet Explorer doesn't exist. Don't click on that. Can you download Chrome?
Go to options where it says your name. No, not your name, Mom. You're looking for the words that say your name.
Think of all the bonding.
It's going to be great. It's going to go really well for you.
Great.
Once you get through that, you'll have an awesome team name. We'll announce it on the show when you're in the top 10 or so, and it'll all be worth it.
But pro tip, be sure that you have your exit strategy for that phone call already figured out before you go in.
Right.
Because she's going to keep you on the phone.
And change your password afterward so she doesn't get into all your junk. Because I know you use the same password for your email. She's going to go looking in your inbox and want to see.
Well, he never calls, and I just want to know who he's dating now.
Is it still Sally? She was so nice.
No, it's not. Oh my gosh.
Your mom doesn't sound anything like that.
Yes, she does.
On to do better and better at life.
All right, man. You brought up something earlier in the show about paying through Venmo that made me change my do better, because I was going to go off on the stupid Forest Service federales that were dicks to me, but no.
You don't want them coming after you anymore.
Oh, they
Lay low
they
for
won't
a little bit.
They know, they ought to know better by now after coming up here.
I'll try and get them off your tail. I'll do my best.
That'd be amazing. Because I haven't done anything. Like, I'll explain later. But the Venmo thing. So there is a trend that is now starting to, I think, sweep the nation that has to be nipped in the bud right now, because this is something that when I first saw it, I was so dumbfounded that people would do this that I didn't even know how to take it. So the first example of this that I saw was near Ritzville. I was getting onto the interstate. A little Pontiac like goes by me. And you know how people write on the windows with their like whatever that window chalk crayon thing is that you can get, right?
Yeah.
Oh, just married, da-da-da-da-da, right?
Yeah. Get your car out of my driveway.
Exactly. Yeah, things like that. But no, they have a new thing that I think it's the youngins are doing, and I do not approve. So apparently it was this young lady's 21st birthday because it was happy birthday, do. And at the bottom it was buy so-and-so a drink by paying Venmo, blah, 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 whatever Venmo handle was.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like now I'm pressured to buy this 21-year-old a drink. I don't even know if it's still her birthday. How long has it been on there? Like, not only that, is she even 21? I can't even prove any of this stuff. Don't make me complicit in your crime. I was like, no, I want none of this crap. Why are you're that broke that you can't buy a shot? This is begging and pandering on a whole new level that I do not approve of. I don't like it at all. And then I was like, well, that had to have been a one-off. Like, what a crazy chick. Like, who does such things?
Uh-huh.
And then about, I don't know, a week later, I was driving out. Maybe it's just a Washington thing. Same thing, except it was on a truck, and it was just married, and buy the young couple, whatever it was, I don't know, give them your money because you don't know them, Venmo at blah, 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 blah. I was like, no, I don't know these people. I don't even know if this marriage is a good idea. Why would you be hitting me up for money? Maybe they're a terrible couple. Maybe he's really mean. I don't know. Don't pressure me into this crap. There's no value for value here. You just wrote on your window, give me catfishing money, Venmo, blah, 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 blah. I hate this trend. It's got to stop now. Now, everybody who has done this, do better.
They're missing a portion of the value for value piece of it, because I don't know, what's something that they could give you from their car that would, like, okay, if I'm going to send you $3, you got to give me a thumbs up. Or like if you're a trucker, ooh, this would be a great idea for truckers. Like, instead of just doing the hand thing to honk the horn, Venmo me at Lonesome Farmer, and I'll honk the horn for you.
There you go. But are there instant notifications on this Venmo thing?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
There are instant notifications.
Hey, if you'd like me to not creepily hit on you at the truck stop, Venmo me, like whatever it is. Like, it'd be great.
I feel like that's more blackmail than value for value.
You say potato, I say potato.
If you want illicit massages, Venmo me at Hawkra. And
no, that's not what it is. You missed the whole joke there. If you want illicit massages, Venmo me at Deshaun Watson / Cleveland Browns.
I don't want him getting my money.
He's got enough of his own, that's for sure, that he gets to keep.
I can do massages too.
Yeah.
I mean, if the money's good enough.
That's an interesting fact about you I didn't know.
I haven't done it yet. I'm just saying, like,
okay,
if the dollar amount's right.
Okay, well, that begs the question, Brandon. It begs the question, what is the right dollar amount? I got $200 for you to come down here and touch my hairy back. Come on.
We'll find out. It's like the people on eBay that say, what's your lowest offer on this? Or what's the lowest amount you'll take? I hate that crap too.
The full amount. Yeah.
Yeah. How low will you go on this? I don't know. How much are you willing to give me for it?
I don't like dickering.
No. I
don't care for it. Like, if you, for example, like if I put something up for sale in, like right now I'm looking at a motorcycle helmet, and I want $50 for the helmet. Don't be like, will you take 30? No, I want $50 for the helmet. That's why I put 50 on it. If I wanted 30, I'd have put 30 on it. Like, why are you wasting my time? Like, and some people really get off on the dickering thing. I can't stand it. Okay. I hate being on the other side of it too.
There's a word that you can put right after the price to avoid any dickering. Firm. $50. Nope. Firm.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know what firm you're talking about, apparently. Is it a law firm? All sorts of other kind of firms.
They know.
They don't, because you'll still get, hey, would you trade for, I don't know, a broken down Oldsmobile Cutlass? No, I would not. Thank you.
I mean, part of that is where you live.
Is it?
Yeah. I've never been offered a broken down Oldsmobile Cutlass
No.
for anything.
Well, apparently you don't have some really valuable items to try to sell.
Although I did have a Ukrainian family come by our yard sale a couple weeks back, and we communicated entirely through Google Translate.
Interesting. So what is the Ukrainian word for ammo?
We didn't get into it.
Oh, I figured that's what they'd be
I don't
looking
think
for.
they need ammo as much here as back home.
Well, I thought
And
they'd
I
be
didn't have
taking
any
it
for
back.
sale. No, I think they were here for to kind of wait things out.
I don't know. We've just been watching The Americans. I assume everybody who's a foreigner is a spy now.
We didn't get into it. We did. There was mostly, it was a family with kids. We had a bunch of toys, and they loaded up on toys for the kids.
Yeah.
That was as far into the conversation as we got.
Gotcha. How was the Google Translate experience?
It was mostly my wife that dealt with it, so I missed out on most of it.
Well, are the toys gone?
There were a lot of toys. The kids had a blast just going through the boxes and looking for toys.
Well, if the toys are gone and you have money in your pocket, I guess it worked.
They came away with a pretty nice haul, I think.
Nice.
I offered cookies, and he made the gesture of like their kids having messy faces. And
Oh,
so, yeah.
are you sure that wasn't like they're allergic to nuts?
Could be.
Yeah.
Not real good with my sign language.
No, we could work on that. You need Phil for that.
It's true.
He knows a little sign language.
Well, my do better this week is for the Washington Midsummer Renaissance Fair. I like going out to the Renaissance Fair. It'd been a couple years, but usually when we make our Washington trip in August, we're going to hit up the Ren Fair there. It's usually a good time.
Who do you go as?
I just wore my Bigfoot shirt. I didn't go as anything.
Oh, I thought you'd go as a squire.
No, it was fairy week.
Wait, Renaissance fairies?
There were a lot of fairies, and there were also ogres.
Did they live in the Renaissance?
I don't know, man. I wasn't there.
Did was the word con after this?
No, it was the Washington Midsummer Renaissance Fair.
Con.
Every
Sorry,
year,
man. I
it's a
didn't mean to
great
get you
time.
off track.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
My beef with the Renaissance Fair, though, $4 bottles of water at the Renaissance Fair. You're not Disneyland. And even if you were Disneyland, at least like I have a choice of using the water fountain to get free water. This place is out in a field in Bonnie Lake, Washington. There's no other place to go. And when it's a 90-degree day with high humidity, like it seemed to be on our day there at the Renaissance Fair, we're going through at least one bottle an hour for all five of us.
If you're doing it right. Yeah. If you're doing it right.
Yeah. A bottle an hour, five of us. That's $20 an hour that we were there. We were there for at least 5 hours. It's $100 just in water.
Wow.
It's crazy. So,
yeah, it is.
Yeah. And it's water. Even if you're charging $1, you're still making money off of each bottle of water. $2, fine. You're selling it at convenience store prices. Actually, that's still like a high price for a convenience store.
Yes, it is.
$4? What the hell are you doing? Why are you trying to kill us?
I'm pretty sure everybody's taking advantage of this inflation thing, right? Like, oh no, I can't possibly get water for cheaper than $3.50. So
the thing that pissed me off the most about it is I paid $4 and she handed me a warm bottle of water.
Oh, that's unacceptable, soldier.
How terrible. I mean, I drank it.
Did you spit in her face or were you too parched?
See, they know that you're not going to give up that valuable hydration and do things like that.
Yeah.
No, I sucked it up and paid my $4. But after this, I'm actually planning on going to the one in Oregon in June because reasonable temperatures, it's going to save me at least $75. And I can spend my money on other things like getting a new leather vest or something or some chainmail.
There you go.
And for that, the Washington Midsummer Renaissance Fair. Do better.
Hey, man, when you go to Oregon, the prices may have gone up so much that they'll be like, yeah, the middle daughter, I'll take her.
That or $100.
Yeah. I mean, just depends on how much you like the middle one. Usually nobody pays attention to them. So I don't know, $100.
She was the one that liked watching the jousting with me, though.
Ooh, yeah, she's a keeper.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of her.
And so we watched jousting. We sat in the Scotland section. Super hunky guy, no shirt on, jousting.
Yeah.
And our guy won.
Yeah.
Pretty good time.
I bet you he gets all the chicks being a shirtless jouster.
I would imagine so. I heard my share of cat calls from the audience at our jouster.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. This is saucy. I didn't realize the Renaissance Fairs cons got so saucy.
There's,
what else happened at FairyCon?
If your choices are to pay for a $4 bottle of water or sneak in your own flask of whatever, there's a lot of people sneaking in their flasks.
Well, if I'm going to come at you from the crazy prepper angle here, it's get used to this because it's all drying up and it's going to be the most precious resource out there. So secure a water source now.
Handy tip from Prepper Adam.
You'll be thinking $4 bottles were just a bargain.
Back in the day, I remember complaining about having to pay $4 for a bottle of water.
Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed your OgreCon story. That was good stuff.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, my Better at Life than Skip Bayless this week. And I know last week it was for firefighters, but more so this week because, I was driving as of what is today? I don't even know what today is. 3 days ago, out to New York, drop off the kids' stuff to her in her first year of college.
I thought we were going to be doing this show with you on the road.
Yeah, well, I got to just about North Dakota where it starts to get real boring. And I got a phone call to liven it up. Apparently, a forest fire had sprung up in our gulch about a mile and a half up our private road. And the fire trucks were rodding up the road and nobody knew what was happening. So hauled ass back. We packed up as much of the high dollar stuff that we have, mainly tools. And, those guys, they were just ass kickers. They got out there. They were on it in a heartbeat. And I felt like, kind of a Richie Rich guy there for a second because they even brought in the helicopter the first night and dumped a bunch of water on it and everything. And I don't know what I did right to deserve that, but that was awesome. And
they were using your water?
No, they went somewhere else for that water.
Okay.
I did not approve that. I didn't know. No, I would have given up as much water as they wanted. No doubt about it. Because our little area that we're in, there's a lot of beetle kill, a lot of dead standing trees. Like it's not if this place burns, it's just kind of like when, and I'd rather it be later.
When you're not there.
Well, just, 5 years from now when it's just like, well, okay, I'd like a do-over anyways. I've learned a lot and I screwed up a bunch of things. So I'd like to, give it a go again. But yeah, man, they saved our bacon. All of us up here. It was like 3/4 of a mile from neighbor Brandon's place. Just can't thank those guys enough, man. Most of them Pennsylvania boys. Good job. Appreciate you more than you know. Thanks for saving my bacon. You guys better at life than Skip Bayless.
There we go. Firefighters back to back. Better at lives.
Yeah, that got that's the closest my house. I've lived in the wilderness interface for a long time. That's the closest it's been to my dwelling. Not the first time to be evacuated, but that was the closest it was to my dwelling. And I was nervous, and we're not exactly sure what happened. There was some lightning a few days before, so maybe that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of lightning. We even saw fires. When we went to Washington, I think I told you that all of the area on the north side of Elmo had burned. And then on our way back, all of the mountains on the south side were actively on fire.
Crazy.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we got lucky. I mean, they kept it to like 5 acres somehow. Oh. I don't know how.
In August. Yeah, that's impressive.
It's super impressive, man. I can't believe it. And then, so, obviously we don't know what caused it, right? So then, the Forest Service federales show up, the law enforcement, right?
Yeah.
And came down and, I saw him park in front of the house. I was back working in the shed and walked out. Hey, fellas, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Ask me anything, dude. Like, no worries. Like, yeah, here to help. And they were first class catfish heads, man.
Really?
Grilling me about all sorts of stuff around the property. Like, well, where do you get your water? from your mom's house.
Catfish!
Oh, like it's not, I have water rights, like just, and then they drove down the rest of the road real slow. And like, I think they were taking pictures of the rest of my stuff and everything. It was like, what are you doing? I am not under investigation here. Go catfish yourself. They were originally going to be my do better. Screw those guys. And they they didn't even ask us anything about the fire other than, do you know who reported it? And I was like, yeah, no. I was almost in North Dakota when I got the call that this was going out. Oh, really? I was like, yeah. I don't know. I maybe left here about, 11 that day and got the call and came back. Well, you must not have been very far down the road. Were you really close to North Dakota? Yeah, dude, I was 7 hours down the road when I got the call. 7 hours. I was trying to catch me in some lie about delivering my kid catfish to New York. I did not enjoy my encounter with the U.S. Forest Service federales.
They probably heard you talking about cutting firewood when we were talking about it just last show.
I am legally allowed to cut 30 cord of firewood on federal lands. Not only that, I'm cleaning up their catfish forest. Get out here and do it yourself.
They didn't even ask you where you got your firewood?
No.
Those guys aren't doing their jobs. I need to have a chat
they
with
were
them.
too busy trying to railroad me and Britt when some fires started. They're not Columbo. They thought they were, I don't know. Whatever, dudes. Button your top button too.
My better at life this week is for Little League World Series baseball player Isaiah Zay Jarvis. Been following any of the 2022 Little League World Series, Adam?
I often do. This year was not one of them.
Well, Oklahoma was taking on Texas East, and Jarvis is at the plate. The kid pitching just, I don't know, lost control of it, nails the kid in the head. The kid goes down. Oh, fortunately, it was in the helmet, but it was really close to, I think it knocked his helmet off as he went to the ground. And so it was kind of a freaky situation, but the kid got up. Yeah. He was fine. He walked to first base, and it showed a shot of the pitcher after this situation happened. He was on first base. The kid pitching was shook up. Like he was, you could tell just visibly. And apparently Jarvis could too, because he took off his batting helmet, went from being on the base path, and he walked over to the pitcher who just hit him, mind you, and gave him a hug. The kid was shook. And all of his other teammates then, they came over on the mound, consoled him too. They ended up pulling him from the game, but it was just the act of sportsmanship from the kidder who was just hit in the head by the pitcher, but clearly it was not malicious, and he really felt bad about it. But it was cool to see that moment of sportsmanship that you get in the little leagues. And so for Jarvis, for Shelton, the pitcher, giving a good moment for everybody. Y'all are better at life than Skip Bayless.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool to hear, because not often do we see with the level of sports that we watch that level of empathy. So that's really cool. We need a lot more of that these days.
Yeah. I think in the majors, those guys generally have a little bit more control. And so when guys are getting hit, I think you can maybe lean on the idea of it being more malicious than in the little league, but you don't need to come to blows every time either. Unless the Angels.
Oh, okay.
Screw those guys.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Do you not like the new Babe Ruth?
No. I think that it's just there's bad blood between the Mariners and Angels. Actually, the worst offenders would be the Astros.
Yeah.
Because they're freaking cheaters.
I heard. Yeah. Well, is it really cheating when it's a game that nobody really cares about anyways?
I think it's technically still cheating.
Oh, well, okay. If you say so.
Just because you go out and play golf and quote unquote shoot a 72 for 18, everybody else.
I'd never shoot a score that high. I shoot a 65 every time.
Every time.
Yeah. When I'm playing that game, not the sport.
And with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.